With Randy Orton, I thought when it came down to the Final Four, I thought Randy Orton was going to win, but you know, obviously Sheamus is a big, big dude. He's very talented, and he's getting over. You know, he's been over for a while, I should say. But you know, and then when it came down to the last two, I thought Jericho was going to win, but it probably made sense, you know, for Sheamus to win. But I mean, in all, I think it was a great pay-per-view from top to bottom. So I really did like Mick Foley and oh gosh, what's the Italian kid name?
Santino.
Santino, thank you.
The Sock versus the Cobra?
Yeah, I drew a blank there, but yeah, he's one of my favorite characters, very entertaining, and a paisan, you know. So.
And Rhyno, you've been in those Royal Rumble matchups. You know how interesting it is and how unique it can be over the course of that hour's time that you're spending time in that matchup. So what perspective do the participants think while they're in that ring for the Royal Rumble matchup? What's your mindset as you try to win that spot at WrestleMania?
Well, you know, all the competitors are very serious, just like I'm being serious with this interview, because I'm a competitor in the ring, and you know, when you're doing a broadcast, you know, it's just one of those things you have to be serious, and it's all business in the ring, it's all business here, you know, going to your this broadcast and going out to your listeners, so you have to be very serious, and especially in the wrestling ring, you know, so you're going out there for one thing in mind, and to win and to perform and be as professional as possible too along the way.
Rhyno, you obviously your professionalism is amazing.
Exactly.
Tonight, in a big matchup, a three-way match here at the Horny Goat Hideaway, watching it on the largest television in the Midwest, the Royal Rumble. Sheamus wins, but CM Punk retains the WWE Championship against Dolph Ziggler in a matchup which we really saw Dolph Ziggler get beat 4 times.
You know what? You can, in this business, you can be beat, you know, 3, 4, 5, 6 times. You could be beaten for a year, and you can come back and be on the top of your game, and you know, win the world title. You know, so if he's been in a little slump, it doesn't matter. He's great. I love watching him wrestle. I think CM Punk is probably one of the best out there, if not the best. And you know, it's just you know, he's just got it. You know, CM Punk. And yeah, he did retain the title, but you know what? I don't think you've seen the last of Ziggler, and I think the best is yet to come with that kid.
Well, Rhyno, thank you so much for joining us here on the post show, talking about the 2012 WWE Royal Rumble. You never know who you're going to get on the post show from the Pro Wrestling Report, and that perspective, definitely an interesting one. And as I said, we're going to be taking your phone calls, ladies and gentlemen. The number 877-317-9772. We're also going to be joined by the rest of the PWR broadcast team in just a few minutes. But a tremendous Royal Rumble matchup, one that saw so many interesting things happen, including several surprise entrants that I don't think we expected in the Royal Rumble matchup, including names such as the Hacksaw Jim Duggan, Booker T, Jerry Lawler, Michael Cole, Ricardo Rodriguez, when Alberto Del Rio's music hit, and everybody thought it was going to be him, but it wasn't. And people who had participated in matchups earlier on, including The Big Show, Dolph Ziggler, and a very big surprise entrance, getting back into a WWE ring for the first time in a very long time, the Road Dogg Jesse James. All those names involved in tonight's Royal Rumble matchup, but it would go down to the Final Four. The Final Four of Randy Orton, Sheamus, The Big Show, and Chris Jericho. And Rhyno, one final question. Hometown, the hometown effect. You hear a lot of wrestling fans talk about it. You've seen it happen with Cena in Boston. Tonight with Randy Orton in St. Louis. Does it matter to the company when you're performing in a matchup on such a high caliber scale that you're in your hometown for that night, or does it more matter going forward into the future?
I think it all depends on the situation and all that stuff, but you know, sometimes you have to look towards the future, but then again, feel-good moments are very important in wrestling and, you know, in sports altogether and in entertainment, you know, so it's just a toss-up, I think. But yeah, Road Dogg, I thought he was impressive. You know, I wanted to mention that, and he's my boy. He's funny as hell, heck, and yeah, I thought he was very impressive, looked great, and man, he still got it, you know. It sounded like, I couldn't really hear, but it sounded like the fans were chanting, "You still got it." So I bet you he was, he's still probably rolling on a high out there, you know, after the card, you know, going to having a good showing. But anyways, yeah, so yeah, I think it's one of those feel-good moments, or you move towards the future. I think it's a toss-up, you know.
All right, Rhyno, thank you so much for joining us here on the post show. We've got more guests that are going to be joining us, including Scotty Too Hotty, and Scotty, if you'd like to, where's Scotty Too Hotty go? He's supposed to be here, so there he is. If you want to come on over and join us, I'd love to hear your
perspective, another man who's participated in many a Royal Rumble matchup, but your perspective on really two men who I think shined as stars tonight in the Rumble. Firstly, The Miz, who entered at number 1 and lasted till just about or almost the end of the matchup, and then the man who eliminated Mick Foley, the man who eliminated Booker T, the man who eliminated the Great Khali, the man who eliminated Hacksaw Jim Duggan. He was somewhat of a legend killer tonight. He is the Intercontinental Champion, Cody Rhodes. Your thoughts on the performance of both The Miz and Cody Rhodes in the Royal Rumble matchup tonight?
Phenomenal. You know, it's been cool for me on a personal note to see guys like The Miz and CM Punk. You know, both guys that I wrestled when he first came into the company, either the first match into the company or the tryout match, the dark match in the company. So it's cool to for me as somebody I don't get to see a lot of WWE TV these days. I watched the pay-per-view tonight, first time in a long time, and it's cool to see how they've grown and how they've come along, and you know they're stars. You know, and they've proven themselves, and it's cool, especially for somebody like The Miz, who I liked right from the beginning, to see him make it. So.
Now, having participated in the many Rumble matches that you've been in, and you've made those big returns in the past as well in the Rumble matchups, what's your mindset in that ring? 30 men participating, you've got that shot at WrestleMania. You're going out there, you know that it could be either a lucky moment or a ton of skill that could make you win that matchup. What type of psyche do you have to have going into that 30-man battle royal?
The Royal Rumble, I mean, it's one of, it's probably at least the second or third biggest pay-per-view for in the wrestling business every year. So whenever you're on that stage, that platform, you're trying to do something to make the fans remember you and stand out. And lucky for me, I had that moment in Madison Square Garden in 2000, the Royal Rumble, and Rikishi and Brian Christopher and myself, we all got to do the dance, and people still ask me about it today, and that was probably one of the definitely the top 3 highlights of my career. So I think everybody's looking for that, not only
to go out there and win the Rumble, but to have that defining moment in their career.
You know, it was July 4th, the last time you actually sat in for me on this program, and you played the role of host and did a tremendous job. You know, that was one of our most listened to episodes.
Nobody can sit in for you.
And you got to imagine that could be part of the reason where just tonight the Pro Wrestling Report won the title of the best broadcast wrestling show in the world in the Wrestling Radio Awards. So I guess we'll just give you the trophy for that, Scotty.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, I don't. It was fun for me to come on that night and fill it. Try to fill your shoes. Those are big shoes
did okay.
to fill, but I did okay. But I listen to the show. I like the show, and congratulations to you guys. It's a very entertaining show.
Well, thank you, Scotty, to Hotty for joining us, and thank you to Rhyno for joining us as well. The discussion continues here on the Pro Show for the Royal Rumble. We're going to take yet another time out, and when we come back, we're going to welcome the rest of the Pro Wrestling Report broadcast team and talk more about tonight's Royal Rumble, including your phone calls and the results of our poll, which is currently up on Facebook. Pass or fail for the 2012 WWE Royal Rumble. Head over to our Facebook page, facebook.com/Pro Wrestling Report, and vote right now. We'll be back in just a moment.